So Bernie Sanders, as you all know by now, is the head of the Help Committee, and he's using his authority to try to hold accountable corporate criminals, for lack of a better term. So he's now doing a hearing on Howard Schultz, who, of course, is the CEO of Starbucks, and he's a massive union buster. So he had Howard Schultz subpoenaed to come in to testify, and I'm going to show you some of the clips from that here. So first, I want to go to a Starbucks worker who tells the story of what went on once they started trying to unionize.
We were disciplined for minor things that happened in the store, like being written up for being 2 minutes late, which had never happened before. Terminations increased too. A partner who experienced sexual harassment from one of our managers was terminated after reporting it. They held captive audience meetings, they called them one-on-ones, for us to have all of the facts. But the partners were outnumbered every time. In these meetings, partners were being threatened with losing their benefits if they joined the union. We were disciplined for minor things that happened in the store.
So that's just a little taste of what went on. They really dropped the hammer once they started to unionize and started doing these underhanded tricks trying to block the union. So now that takes me to Bernie. This was in his opening statement. He really unloaded on Howard Schultz and sort of listed a bunch of the stuff that's been going down.
Over the past 18 months, Starbucks has waged the most aggressive and illegal union-busting campaign in the modern history of our country. That union-busting campaign has been led by Howard Schultz, the multi-billionaire founder and director of Starbucks, who is with us this morning only under the threat of subpoena. Let us be clear about the
Look at his face. Look at his face. You know that's accurate. You know that's accurate, Howard Schultz. Why are you shaking your head no?
Of Starbucks' vicious anti-union efforts. The National Labor Relations Board, NLRB, has filed over 80 complaints against Starbucks for violating federal labor law.
Wow.
There have been over 500 unfair labor practice charges lodged against the company, and judges have found that Starbucks broke the law 130 times across 6 states since workers began organizing in the fall of 2021.
Wow.
These violations include the illegal firing of more than a dozen Starbucks workers for the crime of exercising their right to form a union and to collectively bargain for better wages, benefits, and working conditions. Since the first Starbucks union was certified more than 450 days ago in Buffalo, workers at more than 360 stores across 40 states have held union elections. 83% of these elections have resulted in a union victory, and today nearly 300 Starbucks coffee shops employing more than 7,000 workers have a union, despite Starbucks' aggressive anti-union efforts. But with nearly 300 shops voting to form a union, Starbucks has refused to sign a single first contract with the union. Not a single one. Think about that.
Wow. Wow. See, now Howard Schultz is in a tough position for this very simple reason. If he's going to be honest, he's going to go out there and say, yeah, we've been trying to bust up the union. We've been trying to not allow unions. We've been trying to retaliate back against the unions that have been created. But if he's being open and honest and upfront about it, he would be admitting to crimes. He'd be admitting to being a criminal and committing crimes. So he's in a weird position because he oftentimes wants to say what he thinks, and he does say what he thinks, but then he has to reel it in because he's like, oh, violated federal law again. So let's finish this, and then I'll give you the best Howard Schultz moment.
Think about a multi-billion-dollar company with unlimited resources, with all kinds of lawyers, advisors, consultants, and yet they have not yet signed one contract with any of their nearly 300 unionized shops.
Okay, so now, man, this moment, dude, Howard, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? So he's going to get all up in his fifis about Bernie had gone after him. He's a greedy billionaire, right? Classic Bernie stuff. Bernie's correct, as usual. Then here's Howard Schultz' response.
This moniker billionaire, let's just get at that, okay? I grew up in federally subsidized housing. Let me finish. I grew up in federally subsidized housing. My parents never owned a home. I came from nothing. I thought my entire life was based on the achievement of the American dream. Yes, I have billions of dollars. I earned it. No one gave it to me.
You earned it. You earned it. You earned it. Howard, nobody earns billions of dollars. And Howard, we don't live in a meritocracy. It's not, the harder you work, the further you go, and the more money you make. If that was the case, a lot of your hard-working Starbucks employees would be worth a lot more than they are right now. See, the problem is, if what you're saying is true, when you grew up in a lower middle income family or even a poor family, and then now you're in the position you're in and you're still trying to union bust, well, then you're the traitor. You're a class traitor. And not in the good direction where somebody who's wealthy and been wealthy all their life ends up fighting for working class people. You are a class traitor in the opposite way, where you came from poverty, you know what it's like, and then you said, screw these people anyway, I crossed the bridge and now I'm going to burn it behind me. So, he really did the whole pity the poor billionaire routine, bro. He really did the pity the poor billionaire routine while testifying in front of Congress. Dog, this isn't one of your cocktail parties. This isn't, at the country club after a nice round of 18 where you're sitting around with your buddies who are also worth billions of dollars. You think this is going to fly, son? You think this is landing with your average person? If you really have so much sympathy because you came from the lower classes, then allow the unions negotiate in good faith. Pay them well.
I've shared it constantly with the people of Starbucks. And so anyone who keeps labeling this billionaire thing is...
Mr. Schultz, I don't mean to cut you off. We have time limits here, and you have had the opportunity. I'm not cutting you off.
It's your moniker constantly. It's unfair.
No, it is not. You have had more...
It is literally factually accurate. It's factually accurate. Get over it.
I've been generous with the time. I'm sorry.
But Mr. Chairman...
We have a room full of people. We have panel to go after you. You're not the only person testifying.
Okay.
So understand what happened here. He jumped in to whine and play the victim as he talks about his billions of dollars. And Bernie let him go over his time and he cut him off. By the way, just so you know, all the Republicans on this panel were abysmal. They were all like coddling Howard Schultz's nutsack. They were all giving him a smooth hand job. Rand Paul, when they went to him, you know what his first thing he did was? He read a quote of an Ayn Rand character to talk about how entrepreneurs are underappreciated. Mitt Romney said a similar thing. These people are ridiculous. Ridiculous. So the Republicans were all coming to his defense, which should tell you everything you need to know, right? Here you have a guy who's phenomenally wealthy, and he's a union buster, and he's violating federal law in the process. They should crack down on him, and solidarity with the unions. I hope they get a good contract. I hope they get pay raises. I hope they get better benefits, more vacation time. Because you know what? Starbucks can afford it. Howard Schultz can afford it. I'm sorry, but it's true. And I hope that this wave of unionization keeps sweeping across the country and more places get unionized. Because, look, the proof is in the pudding, man. When you look at the numbers, when we had a more unionized workforce, we had the strongest middle class we've ever had. And you mix that with good redistributive policies, so you tax the wealthy more and redistribute with social programs, that's how you get a thriving country. That's how you get a thriving country. So, there you have it. All right, guys. I love all you. Thank you, as always, for listening. I truly appreciate it. Do me a big favor. Click the like button. Click that subscribe button. And leave a comment, some algorithm love. And remember, you can always support the show on Patreon. That link's in the video description box below. Give $2 a month or $5 a month or whatever. Also, you could support Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. That link's in the video description box below as well. And remember, guys, you could always listen to the full podcast version of the show over on Spotify. So definitely check that out. If you haven't yet, All right, guys. I love all y'all. Thank you as always. I'll talk to you next time. Peace. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.